Hello everyone, happy Easter. We're going to be talking about a really fun artist today. Fourth and fifth grade, we've been studying the art of the New World when the great explorers arrived in America, the type of artwork they were inspired by, and then in fifth grade we've been looking at American art. So we're going to be looking at the artwork of Henri Rousseau. So this is one of his well-known paintings. So you can tell by his name, Henri Rousseau, that he is not American. He was a French artist. He was inspired, even though he never traveled to the New World, he was inspired by the stories he heard from the great explorers of all the things that they saw in the country of Mexico when they first arrived unexplored. And so this is what he imagined, the foliage and all the exotic birds and animals that the great explorers had seen. This is what he imagined it must have looked like. They didn't have photography back then, so they couldn't really send pictures back. So when you look at this picture, you'll notice the more you look, the more you see all these little creatures peeking out from behind foliage and leaves and fruit. There's some little monkeys hiding in here. There's a monkey peeking out over here. There's a parrot. There's a lot of color in some places, and then he uses a lot of dark greens and a variety of different greens to create depth. So remember, in the fall we talked about the principles of landscape, your foreground, which would be these bright leaves, your middle ground, which is where all these animals are hiding, and your background, which is the sky and some of the trees that are in the distance. So we are going to create our own imaginary landscape inspired by Henri Rousseau. You really want to think about detail with this lesson and using your imagination. So as we work at the very end of your lesson, I have some images of different creatures to inspire you. So you can use that. You can look up images of creatures and birds online. If you need ideas for what type of leaves to do, you can just go outside and walk around your neighborhood, see what bushes and tree branches you can get ideas from. So to start this piece, I'm going to be drawing in pen so you can really see what I'm doing. You, of course, want to draw in pencil. So you want to think about breaking this down into sort of like 3 parts. But first off, with any landscape, you want to have what's called a horizon line, which is the line that sort of helps you see where it looks like the earth meets the sky. And you want to have some trees in your image. So, and remember, we've been studying trees and tree branches, they start out, the thickest part of your tree should always be the trunk. The branches should get thinner as you go up. And think about how many delicate branches you can add. I'm going to make, so this is one that I've already made. I'm going to make a slightly different one. Remember, yours can be as different as you want to make it, as long as it has some trees in it. I'm going to add this time a big mountain in the background so that I see a little less sky. I might not draw all the leaves yet. And so I'm thinking about my background and my middle ground with this first piece of paper. So you're going to need 2 pieces of paper, watercolor paper. What I did was I had 1 piece of watercolor paper that I cut in half. And you're also going to need a glue stick for this lesson. You can use watercolor, you can use colored pencil or marker. marker, you can use a variety of different media for this. So let's see. This time I'm going to draw this little monkey here, hiding down here. He's going to be a very kind of Rousseau monkey. He's going to be hiding out behind this tree. Maybe you can see his tail sticking out. And then, maybe I'm going to add this random bush in the background. And on this bush, I'm going to put my chameleon. Now remember, you can use whatever type of images you want, so don't feel like you have to use these. They're just ideas. My chameleon has kind of a funny expression on his face, but that's okay. And you want to think about making sure that you have animals in the lower part of your painting, animals in the middle, and animals up at the top. So I'm going to draw a cool exotic bird up here. Maybe like a bird of paradise. He's even going to have this really fun, fancy and see how many animals you can add. You can add some exotic fruit on the trees. You can add flowers if you want. Maybe I'm going to add some kind of giant rose-like flowers growing here. So really use your imagination and think about what you could add. So then, this is going to be my middle ground and my background, and we are going to be creating our foregrounds by cutting it out and arranging it so that our little creatures are going to be hiding behind all this nice foliage. So for your other part, before you start painting, maybe you can label this one for your page 2, you want to draw some nice tall different types of foliage. And Rousseau is kind of known for creating kind of some what you would call stylized type of leaves, where it doesn't look completely real, it looks a little bit abstracted. You don't want to make it too delicate, because then it's going to be hard to cut out. So I'm kind of imagining this weird plant here. And this one's going to have some other sort of more curly leaves. So, once you have everything all drawn out, you're going to put your foreground to the side. And we're going to concentrate on this. You want to, I'm going to use watercolor just because it's a little bit faster than colored pencil and marker. So I'm painting my sky in. He was kind of known to have these sort of light blue, almost white skies. And then you want to really think about adding a lot of darkness to your trees. So make sure they're kind of a dark brownish black. And that might be better achieved with your markers. So you can see with this piece, I really made my bush and hill and trees in the background a nice dark green. I made this whole area dark green. I colored in my animals using really nice bright colors, unless it's something like a monkey or a bear. And actually you'll see in Rousseau's paintings that sometimes he'll include a really dark brown monkey that will kind of stand out because it's so dark. But think about dark, rich greens and bright, rich, vibrant colors for this one. And then you would paint this in more of these bright colors. And again, you could use colored pencil, you could use marker, a nice bright yellowy green, because that light is going to create a nice contrast with the darkness of your background. And then once you've painted these, you're going to cut them out. So I'm going to, I think I'll do this one in half in marker. And then I'm going to add some nice bright, almost just yellow to it. And then I would cut it out, just as you see I did here. And then, yes, you want to make sure to let it dry first before you cut it out, or the watercolor might get drippy if you're using watercolor. And then I'm going to put my glue on here. And notice that before I started to glue, I really had looked at these and really considered all the different ways that I could glue them on. I kind of wanted my koala bear to sort of hide back there. And I wanted my snake to kind of be partially hidden too. And it's okay if some of your leaves curl up a little bit. That actually can make it kind of fun and interesting. And make sure to be careful if you've cut something out really delicate that you go from the inside out. And you will have a fun layered jungle scene inspired by Rousseau.